Rebels fighting the Assad government claimed chemical weapons had been used in Aleppo in March. British, French, Israeli intelligence backed those claims. Syrian state TV said the rebels were to blame. Now, the US says its intelligence assessments show with varying degrees of confidence that the Assad regime has used sarin gas.
We cannot confirm the origin of these weapons, but we do believe that any use of chemical weapons in Syria would very likely have been originated with the Assad regime.
Syria has always denied it had chemical weapons, although it's thought to have a huge stockpile. President Barack Obama has said repeatedly in the past if there was any evidence they were being used, that would be a red line for US intervention.
We have been very clear to the Assad regime, but also to other players on the ground, that a red line for us is we start seeing a whole bunch of chemical weapons moving around or being utilized.
Confirmation of America's concern came in a letter from the White House to senior members of the Senate's Armed Forces Committee. But the letter backs away from any prospect of immediate action. It says,
"We have an obligation to fully investigate any and all evidence of chemical weapons use within Syria. Intelligence assessments alone are not sufficient. Only credible and corroborated facts that provide us with some degree of certainty will guide our decision-making."
Senator John McCain, who raised the issue with the White House and has pushed for greater US involvement in the crisis, says this marks a time when something has to be done.
The President of the United States said that this would be a red line if they used chemical weapons. The President of the United States has now told us that they used chemical weapons. Those stocks of chemical weapons, some of which are in disputed areas, must be secured, and we must give the opposition the capability to drive out Bashar Assad once and for all.
President Obama wants to avoid military action in Syria. It's understood he believes it would be difficult, bloody, and with no unified opposition, hard to plan for an aftermath. But the intelligence assessment that chemical weapons have been used takes him a step closer to his own definition of when the US will get involved. Alan Fisher, Al Jazeera, Washington.